Yo, welcome back to another edition of the Buck Junkies podcast. We are back here, guys. Full force today. Everybody's here, I think. All right. Y'all feeling
For the most part.
feeling it? Mikey said he's a little scatterbrained today.
A little bit.
I ain't quite feeling it. We're here. We're present.
Yeah. We're here.
Jamie must not be here. I'm looking at his notes. He done misspelled two. He spelled you Malcolm. You got an L in your name now? He's racking up.
Yeah, I was auto-correcting.
Yeah.
Heck, that's how Mikey been spelling Malcolm the whole time.
It auto-corrects me. Now I've got his name in there spelled correctly. Melissa gets on to me about that. She said, he's got an L in his name. I said, no, he don't.
Yeah.
Comb.
It's just C-O-M. My Pep'll drop the L. That's where I got it from.
Back then, they probably didn't have enough spaces in your birth certificate.
They probably did.
That
is right. That's right. That's probably how it goes.
Oh, no, just getting rested and recovered.
I'm recovered. We had a good weekend. Well,
Partially.
Partially good weekend. What all we let's see. What'd y'all do? I know me and Mark did. We'll talk about that in a minute.
I done a little cooking at the house. Went to Springfest barbecue fest and hung out for a little while. And
was it a mud fest this year?
Man, getting in it was horrible.
Yeah.
I think Mikey got stuck because there's more mud on his tailgate than it is on his truck. So
Look,
what'd you do? Yeah, what'd you do this weekend?
Well, Friday evening I had to cook crawfish from the crawfish stand, so I cooked in that monsoon. Went through 3 jackets.
It was so cold.
You could have. I tested rain jackets.
I was going to say,
Friday.
Mikey, that would have been a good place to get a test in on all your wet weather gear.
Yeah. I didn't have a lot of it, none of my wintertime stuff, but I had some little light rain jackets. I can tell you, Columbia, about 10 minutes in a pouring down rain. That's about as good as you're going to get out of them. And then the
water resistance wore off.
Yeah, it's gone quick.
Which one stood up the best?
Our cooking jacket.
Oh, really? The How to Barbecue Right cooking jacket?
It did.
What, you know what brand
it's
that
still,
was?
I can't remember.
I can't either.
Yeah. Bone dryer. No,
it's
something like that. What is it? It's something like
something
that.
dry, but I don't remember.
Something dry.
But it stood up the longest. By the time I got in the third jacket, it done about petered out. Yeah. Well, it finally did go through. Well, I don't know that it went through it. It was raining down the back of my neck.
Oh yeah.
I even had the hood on, but sometimes it would come off. Wind would blow it off. And
did you sell any crawfish?
I did.
Like people were coming out in that rainstorm to get crawfish.
I had to have 3 full sacks cooked by 5 o'clock.
Oh, okay, dang.
So
then everybody else showed up like quick time.
They waited till it quit raining.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I had 2 people show up at 8:50 or 7:55 to pick up crawfish. Hey, you got it? I was like, man, I'm washing pots, fixing to leave. And one lady, she wanted $80 worth, so I cranked the pot back up. Yeah, I told her she got to wait about an hour.
Did she wait?
Yeah, she waited. So it was 9 o'clock when I left there, and then had to run home, get cleaned up, get in the bed, and get ready for Springfest.
How'd KT do in the contest? That's why you were running the stand. He went down to the coast and cooked in the crawfish
I hadn't talked to him. I don't know.
It wasn't no Facebook post.
He won it last year.
Yeah, he won it last year. Yeah. I didn't see nobody.
I hadn't seen any post about the crawfish fest or contest.
That's one I'd like to go at least attend or something.
Yeah. I still don't understand how you judge them.
I've judged one before. You basically everybody turns in a box of crawfish only, no sides.
So it's like
you got a scoring sheet. You rank them on flavor. Pretty much it's there's a few categories to it, but it's not like you can say it's tender. Or, like we do barbecue, something like that.
They get like 10 or 12 crawfish in a tray, and you try them.
No,
probably a pound and a half, 2 pounds.
Yeah, easy.
Shoot, I'd be full.
They put them in like a to-go box. I mean, you really only. I mean, they tell you, everybody at the table's got to try them, so you get one, and if you need to go back, you can.
Oh, okay. You're on. Yeah, okay. You're only getting.
You're not
one.
eating. Yeah. Oh no, it's not like you're going and eating pounds and pounds of crawfish. I mean, I think we judged like they break it up by tables. Each table does like 10 entries. And they do them one at a time, so you don't just have a table full of entries. And you get, one crawfish out. If you need to try it again, you can get another one if something was wrong with it, didn't peel right or something. But that's how I kind of judge them. Does it peel good? Was there flavor in it? How was it cooked? I would judge them like that.
So when you're going to do those, is there a certain size crawfish you're looking for to pull out of the box?
They provide the crawfish, don't they?
I think everybody got a sack. But, I mean, as far as from a judge standpoint, I don't want the big giant ones. I want the medium size ones.
That's the ones I'm picking out. I don't want the little peelers, and I don't want that great big one because the great big ones are, a lot of times they're tend to be on the dry side sometimes.
Head don't get as much juice in it.
See, I want the juice in the head, so I get those medium to small ones.
That's it. You'd be surprised when you judge one of how similar they are. There's always a few that stand out, but most of them just have that neutral, anybody can cook crawfish flavor,
Man,
which ain't bad. It's just, to me, the crawfish contest, you got to stand out. You got to do something You got to do something special.
just the crawfish stands in our area. You could host a contest just with them guys.
Oh yeah, we could have one here. Easy.
Let's do it.
You want to do
I
one?
want to do it. I'm down.
I want to compete in one.
Yeah, that's one. I ain't worried about judging one. I want to cook in one.
So our first crawfish I ever had, I thought, man, you're supposed to dump seasoning on the outside. That's how everybody done it back then. I guess it's kind of progressed from that.
There's
now.
people still do it.
Yeah, I still see some people do it. I hate it. I don't want all that flavor. If you got to season
you're burning
them
your lip
after,
up.
you got to season them after they cook. You didn't cook a crawfish right.
It kind of don't make no sense.
No.
I mean,
Y'all at the crawfish stand, do y'all put seasoning on them now? You got to, because you got to make them people think they're hot, because they ain't getting.
Yeah,
all
well,
you
he said,
need.
Some people want it.
you don't have time
Like
to
they'll
soak.
come down there and we want them hot.
Reseason, yeah. Oh, it does get them hot.
So
It don't
you
get
tell
the
them hot.
crawfish hot. It gets your hands hot and everything you're putting in your mouth.
But the kind of the
I guess
purpose behind that, when you stick them in the cooler, when you're holding them, you're holding multiple coolers of them. When you put that on there, you got moisture already, liquid in the cooler, so they're
still kind of cooking a little bit.
You stopped them, kind of like burp the cooler, let the steam out, let them
Yeah.
cool down, and then you dropping them back down, and they sit in that water, and
Yeah.
they're pretty much soaking a little bit in there.
Oh, they do. There's no doubt. I mean, when I eat crawfish, like especially when you cook them, you don't want to sit down and eat them as soon as you get through. You're always like, or we are the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
Let everybody eat that's done ate. You got all them crawfish that's been down in the bottom in that juice that's in the cooler or whatever. Those are the
That's
best
the ones I want.
Those are the best ones.
Oh, soaking's definitely where it's at.
Yeah.
I think so too. You
You
get
got
all
to.
your flavor in them in the soak.
They're clean, ain't gritty. Next time you eat a hot dog, if you agree with putting seasoning in the crawfish cooler, take your hot dog, put your hot dog in it, close it up, and put the mustard on the outside of the bun and see how that works out. I guess it tastes good, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
You're going to wear it.
I don't know. People do it. I've seen them do it all the time, season outside of them. But
I think it is like I've had them cooked by many different people, and they're always good. Like, it might not be the best ones you ever had, but I've always had pretty good crawfish from anybody. And I guess it's how you're raised and what you grew up around cooking. And I mean, I've never seen nobody up here put mustard in the cooler. I've never seen nobody up
That's a
here.
thing down in the Houston area.
Yeah,
Mustard.
mustard.
Heck yeah. As soon as they put them crawfish in the cooler, they squirt mustard all over them, sprinkle their seasoning in there, and shake it all around.
You want to talk about a messy
And let
looking
it sit.
crawfish?
I can't imagine eating them like that.
Man, they got to be like pasty, like on
Yeah,
there.
they
they
can get
ain't.
yellow
They tacky.
all over you. I mean, you've ate corn dog or something, what it's like on a kid, and they get corn dog all over their hands.
Mustard stains, man.
Heck yeah.
Shoot, I'd try it.
I mean, I tried.
Would you eat them with gloves, or would you just get in there?
No. Peel him up, pull them
Mikey
sleeves
gonna-
back and go at it.
He gonna come to work next week. Hands
Your
gonna be
hands are
yellow.
Yeah, fingernails are all mustardy. Probably the most, I don't know, they call it unique or different ones. Me and Mark, when Adam, a Cajun Blaze down in Louisiana, brought them to contest. Malcolm wasn't a fan, but they actually cooked them on Wednesday, cooled them, refrigerated them, and then brought them up there. I guess it was Friday night. We
Friday
ate them
night.
cold, and man, they were very
That's-
good.
It was different. It was like eating cold shrimp,
Yeah,
but it was different.
to me, I don't like crawfish. Well, even like if we're at a crawfish cook and they've been laying out on the table, and they get
yeah.
cold, they're just not as good as when you get them out fresh out of that warm cooler or wherever you're holding them. And
I mean, I haven't
Hot.
done it since,
yeah,
I've never
I
done
thought
it,
going
they
out
were
your
good.
way to
but
eat
it was
cold
good.
crawfish.
Yeah, I'm not gonna turn a crawfish
Yeah.
down.
It's like even like so when you tell them at home, whatever's left over, you always tell them out, put them in a Ziploc bag or whatever, and put them in the refrigerator. Do you eat those tails cold?
We usually use them in something.
I don't ever eat them cold.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they always go in a etouffee,
Yeah.
something like that, or
Don't make
Always
the
in a hot
mistake I
dish.
did.
yeah, hot dish, make crawfish dip.
Man, that does sound good there. Crawfish dip, or what's that? The Parish does.
They got so many different ones.
It's
Crawfish
shrimp
bread.
bread.
Crawfish
bread.
bread. Shrimp bread. Yeah.
But no, crawfish is one of them things. It's an open blank canvas. Cook them how you like them and keep cooking.
So what else did you do? You went fishing too, didn't you, Mikey?
Yeah, I went fishing yesterday. I left here about 2:30. A buddy of mine called me, wanted to go fishing, and he had heard about us, wade fishing and stuff like that. And he's got a place down behind the levee. He's got I don't know what you call that, a big lake or whatever behind the levee. And he was wanting me to go fishing with him, show him how I was doing it. And we went, and there's not as many crappie in there as it is like in the lake, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess because the river comes up and it fluctuates in that lake because it's got an outlet on a channel that runs in the river. But anyways, that's the only thing I could figure. I mean, I didn't catch a fish. Not
Really?
one.
Oh, you didn't catch one crappie?
I didn't catch no fish.
Really? Oh, man.
Cows were laying down yesterday.
Cows
Yeah,
were
those
laying
men.
down.
Were they?
They were, for real, they were.
When I turned on the road, that's what I told him. I said, the cow's down, fish ain't biting.
I believe that.
I
I
do.
do.
My granddaddy would not go fishing. My granddaddy, my
Load
daddy,
his
my
stuff
uncle,
up at the house, drive down the road, the cows in
go
the
back
field.
home.
Might as well go to the bar.
Yeah.
Well, it was our great granddaddy that him and my dad. My granddad was disabled, didn't do much hunting or anything, but my great granddad hunted a lot. He bird hunted. That's who got my dad bird hunting. And if cows laying, he walked outside and cows down in his pasture, he wouldn't bird hunt.
So it applies to
Everything.
deer,
Yes,
birds.
yeah.
I got home,
fishing.
took a nap, so you know what the deer and
Yeah.
everything else is doing.
I did
Taking
too
a nap.
yesterday.
I didn't check the cows on the way down there.
Yeah.
That's the most eerie place I've ever fished, though.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
When
like Ghost Town because it
Yeah,
used to be the
because-
old casino was there, right?
Yeah, there was an old casino that was there, and man, it just I don't know, it had a real eerie feeling to me, you know, that just
Which one? Where was it at? What casino was it?
The Grand.
yeah. Right.
See, what was the casino we went to that time?
Splash. That was the
Splash.
first casino that was ever in Tunica, I guess, the Splash.
I'll agree with Mikey 100%. We rounded that corner.
I mean,
there
it
was
looked
a-
like you was on The Walking Dead, I guess. It
Yeah.
was a 4-lane highway, growed up in trees,
Cut
debris
through,
all
coming
in the
through. That's
road,
what this
and you
was.
driving like literally through a forest, it looked like, and you get back there in the middle of nowhere, and it was just a
You can still see it on Google Maps.
Yeah,
Big
there was-
asphalt parking lot that looks like
That's
what
this
is the
was.
show on Discovery, Life After People? That's
Yeah.
exactly what it looked
Yeah.
like.
That's what this looked like. It was just, I mean, there's weeds standing out there head high, and it used to be a pristine, parking lot with a little moat around it and white fence, and it's just all growed up, and
It's a
When-
weird feeling.
So
you
when
get
that casino was going, they had the ramps that went across it, and they had the little fish food stations where you could put
Yeah.
a quarter in there, get some fish food, and throw down in that moat
Yeah.
or whatever it was. When there was, I don't know, it looked like carp. What I always saw in there, a bunch
it
of big
probably was
carp.
grass carp or something. Probably.
There's turtles out this world off in there. I'm talking some massive turtles you could see that would come up and eat that stuff.
Some frogs.
I was worried
down
about
there, too.
alligators.
Hey, I wouldn't doubt there's
Because-
some gators in there.
There was stuff like in them flooded woods back up in there. I could hear stuff thrashing around back there.
Yeah.
I figured it was ducks or gar or something like that. But man, it was just
Something
you was-
bump your leg.
in that water, walking around out there. And then I seen when I was coming back, I'd fished down and was coming back, and I seen the old bubble trail like they do on the alligator
Yeah.
show. They pitch it out there. I seen a bubble trail come out of them woods and go out in the lake. So I reached back and I hooked my stringer on my kayak. I swear I'm just gonna be like one of these noodles out in the middle of the water. If he grabs me, you'll see the kayak bobbing across. Hopefully somebody will see me because I'm by myself. He's several hundred yards on the other side of the lake from me fishing that side.
So, well, you drug a kayak in there and then
Yeah.
got out and just kind of wade fished?
Yeah, I found a spot that I thought was good. Found some cypress trees and stuff I wanted to fish around. Got out and fished around those. But they just-
Kayak fishing fun, but it's not as easy as what you think it would
if you
be.
got wind, it's tough.
I mean, I got a 12-foot fishing kayak it'll hold. You can load it up. It'll hold weight, but I still hadn't mastered when it's windy, keeping your boat stationary or somewhat stationary and casting both. But
I wonder if you get one of those. I know you've seen those drift parachutes or whatever they put on.
see,
boats that you
my
could throw
boat's
out.
set up for that. And it's an anchor system on the side. Of course, they don't have the anchor, but it's set up for the anchor system on the side where you can adjust it whichever way you want your kayak pivoted as far as facing the wind.
Mine ain't that fancy.
Well, speaking of kayaks, I'm fixing to buy one for that reason, to go fishing. But there is way more information out there about kayaks than I can fathom and figure out. And who was you saying? What's the guy's name on YouTube?
I can't remember his name. I was going to look for him for you the other day, but he always does a what do you call
A
it?
yearly review.
A yearly review on, and he usually does 500 under kayaks, $1,000
Yeah,
under
watched,
kayaks,
yeah,
and he buys
all
at
of
least 6, 7, 8 of them, and he'll put them in the water, and he'll get out there. He'll do everything. He'll try to get it to track in the water correctly and make sure it maneuvers correctly. He'll stand up on it. He'll get in and out of it to see how, if it's, a flip over or not. I mean, he tries to turn them over. He does a lot of stuff with them, and he gives an honest review. And the one that I bought was one of his top ones that was under 500. So
Can you buy a decent fishing kayak for $500?
yeah.
I didn't. So most people, and I'm guilty of it, didn't really think of a kayak as a kayak. You should get out there, paddle, go for it. No. When we went kayaking last year, we just had the ones they gave you at rental, and they were
Jackson kayak.
They were
yeah.
good kayaks. But like when I was paddling down the river beside Jamie, like when I would paddle, the nose would want to go, drift one way or the other as you paddle. Jamie's kayak, you can paddle hard as you want to; it's going straight.
But mine's not
It's not meant to
it's
recreational.
Yeah, mine's more a flat bottom. It's not real agile on like.
Now I can paddle
kayak.
faster.
Yeah,
but he is like, if you wanted to track straight, it tracks straight. You know,
I mean, I can run me, a Yeti cooler in the back, and my dog up front. You can stand up on the side of mine. It ain't gonna hardly turn over.
So when you buy those, you got several different like styles of kayaks. So you have like, anywhere from a 10-foot up to what about 14?
Yeah, fishing wise, mine's a 12.
So when you get a kayak, they have like ocean kayaks, and that's for like getting out in the bays, and when you make a stroke, it's long and it tracks through the water really quick, and then you have like Jamie's, which is a bigger fishing kayak. It's Jamie's is kind of like for lake fishing and stuff like that. It's not as maneuverable as like mine is,
right?
And mine's made for like river fishing and tight spots and things like that to fish in.
I never knew there was all those different ones.
Oh, you can get paddles. You can get it where you paddle with your feet, or you can get electric trolling motors. You can get motors. It's crazy what you can do with the kayak.
One of the guys I was watching the other day it looked like a miniature trolling motor. It didn't go through the hole though. The hole, it went through like the side, like it clamped on the side.
Mine. Let's say you do mine. You clamp on.
He had it set up just like David Magnus' boat. He had the GPS hold me here. He had all the live scope. He had 4 or 5 monitors, all on a kayak. Now he had $5,000 worth of add-ons to the kayak.
What battery would you get to run on that to run?
Some kind of lithium.
Yeah, some lithium or dry cell.
I think it would put so much weight on it.
Lithiums don't weigh nothing.
Yeah,
lithium battery don't weigh 5-6 pounds, if that. But I mean, he was set up. It was pretty cool, and I'm like, dadgum, that's all in a kayak. I don't even have, I ain't ever even been in a bass boat that had that much stuff, But I'm gonna try to get
for.
I'm gonna try to get one halfway in between both, because I want one that's easy to maneuver around. I don't want to get a 12 or 14 foot. I think I'm gonna look at like a 10 or 11 tops, and just something that we can fish out of. And then my wife is mortified of water. She's got this thing where she thinks she's going to drown anytime we get in water. But she went kayak with us last year and loved it, fell in love with it. And I want to get something kind of small to where she can get comfortable, and if she likes it, we'll get 2 of the same ones, But there's a bunch of little fishing holes I want to hit, and I want to go up here to Coldwater River and put in like an Olive Branch area.
We've been saying that for years.
And go all the way down, kayak it down and just see,
Bass fish it all the way down.
Yeah, bass fish it, or
it's a guy in South Haven. I think he's still on State Line Road. A lot of his stuff is higher end kayak. He's got some couple $1,000 kayaks, but he does also have some around $800-900 range. And he's very knowledgeable on it.
What's the place up here in old Kmart, Discount Depot or something like that? You can catch kayaks up there a lot of times that are overstocked or last year's model or something. They'll buy them up, and you can get those couple $100.
Reasonable.
Sometimes they got pretty nice kayaks. Sometimes they're not, but
I think mine was used. I want to say I paid $400 or $500 for mine. I think probably it wasn't even a year old when I bought it from a guy.
I like yours. But dadgum, it's heavy.
It ain't like 70 pounds, 72 pounds. But that something feel like it's 172. It's real.
Dang.
It's awkward to grab.
It's that heavy?
Yeah, some of mine's heavy.
That heavy.
Oh, mine, you can tote one hand.
No,
I throw mine up on top of the side-by-side.
No.
We hauled it in. I pulled it all by myself. And
I lugged Jamie's down last year when he was parking the truck, and I was like, man, it's water in this freaking thing.
No,
it's going to sink when I put it in the
heavy.
river.
But it's stable.
But you can pick up, even Tractor Supply carrier. That's where I bought mine at.
Yeah.
I went down there. They were running them on sale, trying to get rid of them, in the wintertime. I bought them right before Christmas. And they were trying to get rid of their stock on them. And
Academy has a pretty good selection.
Academy's got a good selection of them. You can find little kayak shops. You want high-end ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one place down at the coast, man. They got, you want to spend $5,000 on kayak, they got you.
I've seen those guys doing videos of those. They'll have 10 poles out there.
I mean, it's
the big water. It's like, man, catching sharks.
Yeah, on a kayak.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Yeah, if I was shark fishing, I'd have a little more than a $400 kayak in 10 foot at that.
But no, that's something that I've always wanted to do. And heading down to camp, you got that big old water hole right there for Senatobi, all them big cypress trees out there. Like, we used to beaver hunt out there.
Mm-hmm. I think you never seen anybody. That thing can't be deep at all. You never seen anybody fishing there.
It's pretty deep because we duck hunted it one year, and I know it's going to change a lot because they moved the highway, so all that water's changed a bunch right there under them bridges. But it's got to be something out there. I know it's beavers.
I know, a lot of people probably don't wade, fish that, and do stuff in there because if you've ever walked across a cypress pond, there's so much
cypress knees,
and the silt that's in there. When you step on it, the air comes out of it, and you start sinking.
Well, there's a little channel that runs through that hole that comes under. As a matter of fact, it goes under the bridge and then it goes over there to was it Rifle Range Road? That slough loops around all the way. You can get to it from 51 or Rifle Range. But
So we're leaving here and going looking at kayaks.
we can. Cash in hand. Let's go.
What else we got?
Well,
Man,
what'd we get into this weekend?
So Malcolm and Mark did but didn't.
We tried to go to the Morgan Wallen concert. We
That's
did
like-
go.
We went.
Morgan didn't show up
Yeah, that's like the hottest topic right now on
on social
TikTok,
media.
social media, anything.
We were there. I mean, no joke. So we got there 3:00.
We left the Airbnb at 2:30
Yeah.
because we know. So back up, we went to Ole Miss LSU baseball game Saturday. Well, for some dumb reason, they thought it was a great idea to schedule a baseball game, a softball game. They get out and let's bring in the concert people all at once. So we got back to the car, got ready to get out, and it took us 2 hours to go, maybe a mile, mile and a half.
It was not. Yep.
And
Traffic was
nuts. I mean, there was people just abandoning their vehicle on Highway 6, like pulling in the median, getting out, walking, leaving them. And because they could nobody get in, like you were just gridlocked. You couldn't go nowhere.
People were walking in for miles trying to get to this concert.
So
At least they got to see him.
yeah, they got to see him.
on Saturday.
We
had a better game plan for Sunday.
Sunday we said we're going to leave early. We're going to beat the traffic, and we're just going to hang out in the car, pop the tailgate up, had coolers packed, had snacks packed for the boys, and hang out. And we did. We left the house at about 2:30.
Good parking spot.
Great parking spot, pulled right in. No.
What
issue.
time was it supposed to start? Actually,
5:30.
5:30.
The gates didn't open till 4, and then the concert was supposed to start at 5:30. Which the concert did start. You had all the other.
Yeah, there was 3. Nate Smith, Ernest, and Hardy. They all played on time and showed up and put on a heck of a show.
Yeah, Hardy done.
Yeah, Hardy is pretty good.
He's
He's
dang
a good
good.
band.
But we got there.
60,000 people were there.
So you're 60,000 people. Just cut that in half, 30,000. So that's at $40 a pop to park.
Oh yeah, not everybody paid that though. That was only on campus parking.
Yeah.
There were people parking all over.
But
the
there was
city.
people everywhere. Like even 2 miles from the concert, they were charging $30 and $40 a park
Yeah,
to walk.
just parking. They made some money.
Yeah, that's
ticket
crazy.
ticket sales. I don't know.
Pretty much, I spent more money this weekend than I ever have at a barbecue contest, than I ever have hunting at camp. I don't want to hear nothing. You go down there, you finna spend money.
Oh yeah, $18 a Miller Lite. $18.
I think be nursing that thing.
That'd been hard to do. I don't know what I'd have done.
Baseball game was pretty expensive. We went to the concert, and I realized they wanted a darn boiled hot dog was like $9.
They made their money in concessions and merchandise.
They knew what they was doing.
Yeah. And then come all the way up to showtime, 5 minutes before, dude comes out and says,
No, didn't nobody even come out. They just come over to the loudspeaker.
I thought a guy walked on stage and said that.
No, I don't think he
He
made
said
it off stage with that
Morgan
crowd.
Wallen lost his voice and will not be able to perform. The concert had been canceled.
I think
Make
it was.
your way to the exits.
And we thought it was a joke because, like, I've been to
Yeah.
concerts for, like, Chris Stapleton. Like, I think we went to his in Tupelo. He walked off stage, and everybody's like, "Concert's over." And the guy was with Jay. He was like, "No, hold tight. He's coming back
Come
out."
back, yeah.
He come back out with his bar stool and just started playing, And I was like, "Oh, they're just trying to get everybody down."
I think it was somebody announced because it was a Facebook video.
I mean, no, they come over the speaker, but I couldn't.
No, this was a guy on stage. I don't know what he was saying, but whatever he said, it was bottles and cups and cans thrown at him.
Yeah. Oh, there was people irate. But we realized it was real and the cops come.
Yeah.
They're like, y'all got to go. It's like, holy crap.
Well, they started tearing down all the caution tape, like, "Y'all go out this way." And I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
And then you look around, which, I mean, it sucks, yeah. But, man, it was folks out there boo-hooing, and I'm like, dude, just...
There are people burning their
Yeah.
shirts and stuff.
Like, it ain't
They
worth
just,
all that.
they just paid
Everything's
$80 for a
down.
T-shirt
Yeah.
they're burning.
I wouldn't go see him again if he'd done that.
I was low down.
It just needs a little more explanation. Like, I've heard of people losing their voice, and they come out on stage and say, "Hey, look, I lost my voice."
They can still play the guitar, piano, or something,
There's a lot of money got invested this weekend. And, I mean, like, just like us, I mean, we had tickets, which we're getting refunded, supposedly.
But
But, I mean, we had Airbnb. I mean, we spent some money this weekend that's not going to be refundable, which I ain't worried about it, whatever. But
there's some people got a lawsuit on him.
Yeah,
that's
I
kind of
think-
a crock. That's like getting burnt by your hot coffee. I mean,
yeah.
I was some lady she posted on there. She was $13,000 plus, 5.5 hour drive time, and
which, I mean, some of the people we were sitting by drove 6-7 hours,
Yeah.
The couple behind us, was they from Kentucky?
Yep. They drove all the way from Kentucky.
The scenery was nice. I mean, we enjoyed ourselves. No
Me and Mark
doubt.
had a big time.
We made the best of it. I done a survey when we were leaving. I started surveying fans. If they should go to Travis Tritt or Morgan Wall again, everybody said Travis Tritt. But no, we had a big time. I would go again.
I would too.
I mean, I'd go again. I ain't gonna say I wouldn't.
I ain't gonna lie. There probably won't be another one in Oxford like that.
Probably not.
Logistically, it just.
I imagine they'll say, "Nope, we ain't doing that."
Now
again.
I will say, out of all the concerts I've been to, when the crowd was packed and when Hardy was on stage and it was in the midst of some of the best you ever seen, there wasn't nothing like it.
Mm-mm.
I mean, you ain't gonna beat that feeling in that stadium with that many people. I mean, it was crowded, but I never felt crowded.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be having an anxiety attack. I get that many people around me. I'd be panicking.
It didn't. Which we had good seats because we were on the very end. We were the last section closest to the stage, so there was nobody to our left. So like that aisle to our left, it was a ghost town. So like we had room to get in and out. I mean, we were fine, and nobody found our bathroom. We had that bathroom to ourselves all night. Wasn't no line.
It was. I mean, but in the tunnels though, it was when you went back up there, it was a line of people
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Oh well,
Live and learn.
better luck next time. Dairy Queen was on point.
Dairy Queen. I forgot we went to Dairy Queen.
Yeah, it was good.
I didn't do no Dairy Queen. Me and my brother-in-law Larry went to Central up there on Snow, and it was actually pretty daggum good. Had to go to leave barbecue contest, go eat barbecue. That just don't even sound right.
No, it don't.
Well, what's the main thing we're going to talk about today, Jamie?
Man, so I don't know, just kind of brainstorm on different topics to come up with, and kind of got talking to you and Mikey about it. Like, if you are looking for a hunt lease, hunt land, or club to get in, really now is about when most of them start posting, because every club I've been in went from turkey season to turkey season, or I did do one. Used to, Mississippi hunting license was, July to July, and it was several.
Something like
There's a lot of clubs in. That's what they would go. But if you're looking, you better start.
Now
You better start now.
Most of them allow you to hunt through the turkey season before you have to renew leases, or if you're going to get back in or pay dues or something like that.
Yeah.
Most of them give you to about June to pay your dues, I think, something like that. So now is when everybody's going to be looking for places to hunt, and people be dropping out or dropping leases and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
now-
you can. I mean, social media is just, back when I was younger hunting, it was just like word of mouth, or your buddy was in this club, and you kind of just went along that route. But now you can get, there's so many different realtors and different sites that post all this hunting stuff now.
Where's like if you were going to look for a hunt club to join, what would your first thing you would be to do?
It kind of depends on what
Your location.
you're talking about the spin.
Like, we're going to say in Mississippi.
if I'd already exerted all my avenues of checking with my buddies and stuff like that, and none of them had an opening or something, anything like that, I start looking for like real estate companies, because a lot of times real estate companies will have property for lease. It's may not be labeled as like hunting lease, so people's not really looking at it for that, and try to find a diamond in the rough there somehow. Past
They
that,
might know some owners.
they
that
may.
have some land for sale, recreational land that
Yeah.
they're trying to.
And sometimes you
Move,
can
yeah.
check with your local banks and stuff. A lot of banks will have property that's foreclosed, or they may have it. And if you can get
Yeah.
in there and say, hey, I'll pay the taxes, or I'll pay where y'all making some kind of income on it, where you're not just holding it, I'll lease the property. Sometimes they will let you do that.
I mean, like you said earlier, used to the go-to place when my dad was leasing was that warehouse or timber company. Timber companies
Paper
always had
companies.
it, but now I looked earlier and it's like nothing available in warehouse.
Yeah. Sometimes you have. I mean, you got to find those early, and their bid process most of the time. Like you'll get some of
Yeah.
the bigger companies like International Paper or Weyerhaeuser or whatever it is. They'll list on their websites their states, where there's tracts available, what counties they are, and about what the lease should bring. And I think they just take like open bids.
See, I want to say when we was doing it, I guess to keep from all that headache, I think we would do either 2 or 3 year leases
lock
on
it
it. Yeah,
That's what I was going to bring
I don't
up.
think they do year to year on the timber company anymore.
All of it.
I don't think so.
So this is your first time doing a lease. What would you recommend for you to look out for? Like I'm like you. I wouldn't do one under 3 years. I would probably try to. I mean, if you look at the property and like it, I'd probably try to squeeze a 5-year in there, because you're going to work that property, and by 3 years, it's going to be getting good, and somebody else may come in and swoop in and get it.
That happens all the time.
Every day.
Yeah.
If it's property I'm leasing, I at least want to try to do a 2 to 3 year lease. But unknown factors in there, that your real estate company may not tell you or may not expose at that time, like easements. Like some of your property may not be accessible, or something you may have to come back through somebody else to get
see.
or it may be separated from that property. They may have it listed as 500 acres, and you got 50 of it's over here in the middle of somebody else's farm. You got to get an easement through there. We run into that one time with a lease where I leased some property, and we didn't know about there was a huge ditch between it separated the property, so there was about 100 acres on one side of it. We couldn't even. You could walk over there and get to it, but you couldn't go over there and put food plots in. You couldn't do none
no
of the stuff
equipment
that
or
you want.
nothing.
You couldn't get nothing over there. I mean, it was just one of them. You'd have to build a bridge. Spend several $1,000s building a bridge to get over there to get a tractor across. And we wound up coming around the back side with the gates locked for the easement. We couldn't find out who had the gate locked to get in. Finally, we found out who had it, and the guy let us in. And there was another farm that had property in between ours and theirs. And anyways, we wound up getting into it with that middle guy. He didn't want us coming through there and kept locking the gate on us. We come around through there at 5 o'clock in the morning and gate's locked. Well, it's a 45-minute ride back around to the other side of the property.
So you just blow the morning.
Blow the morning.
Yeah. What do you do in the case? I mean, I guarantee you that's probably why some of that land came available.
Yeah.
The other
Somebody got
guy
tired of
that
headache.
leased probably got tired of the headache. So that's one thing you don't think about is the land joining which property you're trying to lease.
Mm-hmm.
What the relationship is with those landowners.
So he was aggravated because we were hunting on the property. He had the farming rights on the property.
Same
we had
property?
Same property.
Oh.
He owned some up here, but he had the farming rights on the property behind it. So he didn't like us. He didn't want us bringing no trucks, no four-wheelers, no nothing in there. So he kept locking that gate where we'd have to walk in, a mile to get to it. And we wound up getting into it with the guy, and it didn't turn out so well.
So how much like prior scouting or visiting the land on if you're going to lease something like that can you actually do?
I don't know. I mean, like that one, we just looked at it one time and was like, they showed us kind of a plot map of it and was like, cool, how do we get into this? And they said, well, there's a road over here you can come in on. They never went around there and looked at it. Yeah, it's landlocked.
Yeah.
See, we looked at some land in Holly Springs it's been 20 years ago now, and it was kind of the same deal, landlocked, and we got talking, and the only way you could, without causing controversy, was the boat in. You had to boat in to get to it because it's right on the river, but it was more trouble than it's worth, and I guess that's why it was available at the time.
I'm imagining the harder to reach places will probably be more available because people don't want to mess with the hassle.
Again, now you can get on all these OnX apps and GPS apps, and you can kind of
get a better idea.
See what you're getting into before you get it.
You want to make sure that if you got landlocked property or you see any kind of easements or something that you're going to have to go through, you need to make contact with those people and make sure there's a good relationship there before you get it, because they can, even though you're legally allowed to get in there, like if we would have went there and cut that lock on that gate, I mean, imagine how much that'd have been really, really bad.
How much headache it would have caused,
yeah.
Even though you were in the right.
Right. Yeah, you got to give me an easement through here.
Let me tell you how you fix all that. Get you a TVA uniform and a lock, a key. You can walk wherever you want to. You're checking power lines.
So how much do you think hunting land's going for leasing? Like what's a good average price per acre?
And I have no idea now.
You could look for.
I don't know.
Location.
Yeah,
Depends
on where it's at. Like the last one, DeSoto County that I was going to lease, it was $20 an acre.
Wow, $20 an acre.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to be around $5.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we used to be on warehouse. It was $5, and I think the last year we had it. Now this was with I'm almost positive this was with insurance at the time. It was like $8 an acre.
Yeah,
wasn't much at all. But like I said, it's been 20-something years ago at least.
Yeah, I looked at two places here in DeSoto County, and it was $20 an acre what they wanted for it. And
so this is saying in the state of Mississippi anywhere from $5 to $50 an acre, depending on what it is.
I can see. I mean, that's a lot of money you're tying up to not know.
So what you see now on Marketplace, Facebook, and all that stuff is a ton of these shareholders for river clubs, all the way down Cleveland, Tunica, all down in the Delta. It's ridiculous money what they're going for now.
And I think that's something you got to think about too is, are you going to invest this much money as a, continuing land that you can kind of call yours kind of if you're leasing, or turn around and take that money and say, hey, let's go to Colorado and go on a big hunt. What do you want to do? Do you want to hunt every weekend, or do you just want to go have that experience and not have as much headache and spend that money elsewhere? Like, at what point do you draw that line and say, let's do this? Now, it's kind of like duck hunting. I mean, duck hunting's always been hit or miss here. Do you want to spend all this money on a rice field and get things ready, or go kill ducks? Go on a guided hunt.
I guess you just got to weigh it and see what you care more about. I mean, from one standpoint, you want to be able to have something you call your own. That,
Right.
you know, you're kind of
manage it,
having it for several years or whatever, and you kind of, you know, looking and growing better bucks on it. You know, having a good time establishing a camp, stuff like that.
But that's becoming a harder thing to find.
It is
every day.
Well, so much of it's private owned. I mean, you know, the great thing about being in Mississippi is we got the government land we talk about all the time. We got options for that. So that's like when you don't have a tract to rent. I know some people, they'll just rent a camp, and it's kind of like what y'all have, you know, down there on the national forest.
Yeah.
You know, you just a group of guys go together, they rent them a little camp spot, or they get them some hookups for bringing your trailers or whatever, and you hunt government land. You still got deer camp, but you don't have, you know, you can't do much to that land. All you can do is hunt it. You can't.
And you can still find good deer. I mean, we've killed good deer on government land before. You just have to find those.
You got to put in a little bit more work.
Yeah, you got to find those places that are not overrun.
The thing with government land is the average person's going to pull up and walk 200 or 300 yards from the truck. On government, I mean, I got a buddy of ours that he kills good deer on government land, but he's walking hour and a half in the truck back in there where nobody's at.
It all depends on how much work you want to put in. It's just like, you know, you're talking about the hunting apps now. I mean, even right by our house, not far from it, there's all kind of little government land pockets that nobody knows is there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you see it, but like you say, you got to use Coldwater River to get to it, or you got to.
I've done some research on one of that. Can't hunt it. I done looked into it.
Really?
So, I mean, there's ways around forking out money to buy property every year or, you know, lease property. It's just, I mean, like Abbeville where we was at, I mean, that's thousands and thousands and thousands of acres. It's not, I mean, it's not enough people to hunt that much land, but you got to find the land where nobody's at, you know, find your own little, I mean, we done that on, was it T1, T2? And
yeah, you can always walk back in there.
I walked back down that road one time. The first time I went back there, I was going to find me a spot way away from everybody else. I mean, I don't know how far I walked. It was a long ways. And I walked all the way through them government woods, put my stand up and stuff like that, and then got in there opening morning and was watching cars go down the road. I walked plumb through the government woods to the next road. I was like quarter of a mile from the next road, so they were coming in from that way. I done walked too far.
I've done that on government land, but sitting there in the morning, think you're at a good spot, daylight hits.
Looks
you
like
see
a pumpkin
orange
patch
everywhere. Yeah. It's like, man, I didn't go nowhere. Down a dark Wallen.
I had a guy walk in on me. I stuck a stand in a thicket that you had to belly crawl into just about and put it in the middle of this thicket. And nobody was in there. There was no stands within hundreds of yards of this thing. Nobody hunted it. And I put that stand in that thicket, crawled in there, hunted it twice. The third time I went in there to hunt that thing, a guy walked in the thicket with me, had found that stand somehow.
He was hunting your stand.
And he had been hunting it. So I left a note on his truck when I went out. I was like, look, it was too much trouble to get the stand in there. If you've been hunting in there, you can keep hunting the stand. I'm leaving the stand. It's yours. So I just left him the stand. It was pointless. It was too much trouble to get it in there. It was just a ladder stand. It didn't cost $75, but
that's what
still.
Me and Brad, buddy, and I was talking today about different topics. And that's what we said is public land hunting ethics. Like,
yeah, you don't mess with somebody else's stand.
No, and some people just don't. I don't know if they just don't have the common sense or definitely don't have the respect, but they don't.
I'm paranoid. Like, if I pull up, like, it can be, say, like, end of Wheeler Road where we used to hunt. Like, if it's one or two trucks there, I don't even want to go in there because in my mind, I'm going to walk right by them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even want to do that, you know. And it's thousands of acres right there.
And luck has it that you will.
You walk right by him.
Walk right by him or freaking
jump a deer and you see him next, you know.
Yeah.
Or get in your stand to climb a tree or something and the sun comes up and he's on
right
the
there.
next ridge in front of you. Dadgummit.
That's happened to me a couple of times down there.
I've done it at camp. I've hunted those squirrel stand and be sitting there and look, and you hear some shimmer and look, and he's going up the tree about 30 yards from you. You're like,
so what do you?
I'm
mean,
sitting here. Like,
what do you do? I mean, what do you do? Do you?
I waved at him.
Do you keep on? Do you keep on hunting, or do you like kind of give him the nod, or flip your hat at him, and hopefully he gets the hint?
We're both already in the tree. We're hunting it out.
You just gonna sit there and face off?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna get down and mess him up. I don't want him getting down and messing me up. We're already in the tree. Just sit still. We'll just see what, but don't get mad at me.
If I shoot it out from under
I'm not going to get mad at you, but
it's going to be the first one on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better see it before I see it.
That little 4-point ain't going to have a chance that day. Somebody's going to bust him.
The worst thing to be get down, I guess. You know, if you accidentally did it, that's one thing, but there's, you know, I'm sure there's those roguish people out there that.
Oh, it is. We've had, man, we hunted that government land. It was a guy that had hay rights to cut hay back there. He called a game warden on us, and we wasn't doing nothing wrong. I mean, every time we hunted, guaranteed game warden would be sitting there and it's like, so-and-so called it in, so-and-so called it in, said y'all was shooting this or this, and we never was doing nothing wrong, but you just got, I don't know, just some people that's that way.
So have y'all ever been kicked out of a hunting club?
Yeah.
Jamie,
I got
Jamie,
one day you was doing something wrong one day, huh?
no. I
Let's
got
hear that story.
I got kicked out, and my buddy Brad and Woody I say kicked out when memberships rolled around next year. They did not accept our membership. They told
What
us.
did you do?
So this club, you had, I think you could have 2 stands or 3 stands. Anyway, you had like a red stand. The red stand was marked on the map. Everybody knew where it was at. You couldn't hunt within, I think it was 150-yard radius, so 300 yards basically around your stand. You could not hunt. And
Your fixed stand.
your fixed stand, yes. And then if you done other ones, you just kind of had to look at the map, make sure wasn't nobody, or let them know. No big deal. So the first year in, it was either the president or son, I can't remember now. One of them walked in and was like, hey, what do you think about this spot? It's where oh man, yeah, nobody hunts around you. So I'm sitting there like deer after deer after deer after deer, coming 80 yards away, you can't get a shot, just real thick. So I moved my stand over about 30 yards. I could see that trail. Very next day, boom, killed a buck. Well, it was real thick. So when I come in, it was old Skidder Road. I come in at Skidder Road, got my deer, come back out. When I got, that afternoon, he come back out, like, hey, did you ride your foal in there? Yeah, I said, I killed a deer. He goes back in there and said I hunted on his zone. I'm like, how did I hunt on your zone? You said yourself that nobody was by me. Well, it was him that had a stand, but he didn't have it marked on the map. And I didn't move it, like say 30, 40 yards, so there's no possible way I closed in the distance. Anyway, we didn't get asked to come back.
You shot the president's deer.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you can't kill the main man's deer.
Now, that was kind of a little
That's
bit
when
shady.
they start rewriting rules in clubs.
That was a little bit of shady club anyway.
So they told you don't come back.
Yeah, me, Brad, or Woody. Neither
all
one.
them got kicked out?
None of us got to come back.
You got them all kicked
Yeah,
out.
we all got it. We was all in the same group, I guess.
That's bad there. What about you, Mike? You ever been kicked out of one?
Heck yeah.
What'd you do?
For killing a deer.
Oh.
You ain't supposed to get up and go hunting at their deer camp.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No.
They want you to drink the night before.
Stay up and drink
Sleep,
with them. I
yeah.
went to bed early, killed a deer the next day.
Oh, they said, no, you got to go.
Can't come down here doing that stuff.
That's weird how that happens. I had Drake, my nephew. He had a place he was hunting. Went down there. I done food plots for him. Well, his Drake's dad, Larry, wanted us to, said he'd go hunting. He said, yeah, it's a friend of Drake's family who owned it. Yeah, don't care. We don't care who hunts. That's fine. Well, Larry goes down here and stand 5 minutes, kills a pretty good deer. When they got pissed off because he killed a deer, and both of them got uninvited to come back after he done spent several hundred, if not $1,000, doing all these food plots. And like, what do you asked me to go hunting, but you don't want me to kill nothing.
Yeah, I could see it. People get uptight over owning them deer now.
Yeah.
That's part of it right there. Everybody thinks that's their deer. We used to hunt not far from the house. I ain't gonna give too many locations because I'm sure people know exactly what I'm talking about. But we all had 2-way radios for cell phones. I shot a buck. Well, apparently our radios were on the same station as the neighbors.
This is back literally when it was
Walkie-talkies talking about?
it was Motorola flip phones that you had to go through 5 letters of the alphabet to hit one.
We all had the Motorola talkabouts.
Yeah.
And I shot the deer, and it wasn't no. I mean, I was probably 12, 13 years old. It was a little basket rack deer, or whatever. Well, the guy got on the radio telling
who shot
it. Who shot it, and he was talking to his hunting partner.
And wasn't with y'all.
Wasn't with
us. No, they're actually the property's about a mile south.
And
of
they
us.
basically patrolled the property until we pulled out to try to see what it was to know, and was pissed off about it. And I mean, we're a mile from them. Like we ain't nowhere close to him. But that was his deer.
Yeah, because he been feeding it all year.
We've been watching that one grow.
Yeah. This guy,
you ain't gonna see it no more.
Ain't growing no more.
I know this guy, and you literally could stop. He's got a bunch of turkeys on his place, got a bunch of deer on his place. You could stop on the side of the road and just look at a deer or turkey in his place, and I promise you, somehow or another, he would be there and pull up on it. He would. I don't know if he had cameras. I don't know what the deal was. He knew.
He's policing them.
Yeah.
There's several people. There's several people out there that think they own turkeys and ducks and.
Oh yeah.
You
don't own them. You're lucky if they own your place. But.
we had the game warden called on us, and me and my good friend Hunter were in high school. We duck hunted down in Beartail and dropped.
Which is again, this is government land.
100% government land, but we would put in the work, and we were off the beaten path out there in a little slough by us, just us, and we killed ducks. I mean, we had several good mornings.
So backtracking on that, when you put a blind up on government land, you buy a tag.
You buy a permit.
That's right. So
you have to go to their map and show that my blind is at this tree.
Correct.
And pay for that permit.
That's what you did.
Just what I did. Well, about 2 mornings in, we done killed us a couple of limits of ducks between all of us, and the old green truck was sitting out there. I need to check your ducks. I need to check your tags. I need to check your permit. I need to check this. All right. Well, word got around. I figured out who it was. And we were killing ducks, but that $1,000 hunting club neighbor wasn't killing no ducks.
Oh.
And they were like, oh, they're throwing corn out. They're doing this. They're doing this. Well, about 2 weekends later, we come back and our floating duck blind was sunk. They done went out and shot holes all in our drums.
Man.
We had it rough.
All, didn't they?
Yeah. We steadily hunted, though.
Go stand up by the trees.
Oh, we fixed it. Man, some old tire plugs and a plastic drum works good. Put air back in them. Blow them like a tire.
I guarantee you, it's some shady government lands. And heck, even
it's shady private land.
Yeah, it's even club members or whatever, stories that you can come up with. I don't know. I ain't never felt that. It's like if out of the house we hunt. If I went and seen a deer and knew Mark was hunting or whatever, I don't care. I don't care if you go. It ain't like that's my deer. Yes, I want to kill it, but I don't care if you go kill the deer.
I'm gonna tell you right now, we're sitting at a table with somebody that ain't gonna tell you nothing. And I don't know who his name is, but it starts with M, ends with Ike. Him or Will, neither one.
Yeah, Will definitely.
We'll be like, no, I didn't see nothing. He'll kind of walk away and look.
Yeah, Will gives that little smirky smile, and you get lied.
They don't want y'all to run back in there. He's at school.
See, Mikey grew up on hunting too much government land. He's got it's built into him. It's bred into him not to say nothing.
You can't say nothing.
That's like
you could be sitting in the same look.
Days you sleeping in, they're gonna be in that stand.
That's right.
You could be sitting in the same stand with Mikey, and y'all both be looking at a buck. We get back to camp, Mike's, no, I didn't see nothing. I was sitting with you. No, I didn't see that deer.
That's my problem. I'm bad to blab. I'll tell everybody I didn't see the deer.
See, I don't do that no more.
Yeah, you ain't mad at them as much anymore.
That's like a buddy of ours, my Uncle Jimmy's friend Billy Moore. Growing up, he thought POSTED. It didn't mean no trespass. It meant deer are here. If it was an orange posted sign, it's deer on that place. Gotta be.
He was an outlaw.
Gotta be. But if you let him out, when you let him out of the vehicle or side by side, whatever he's on, he was going like to our land, our lease, or government land. But as soon as you got away, couldn't see him, he'd make a complete U-turn, go that posted land.
I tell you, I
went double back.
Yeah.
I was pretty young. I was hunting by myself, but I was still, 10, 11, 12. I don't know. We were at camp, and he was going to walk in with me. And I was hunting in a climbing stand. He was hunting with a climbing stand. So we walked behind camp. Behind camp, we wasn't far from the private property line, but it was just a long, skinny stretch run down beside camp. And there we had stand 1, 2, and 3, or first, second, third stand. So we got up there to the first stand, and he said, I'm gonna climb this tree right here. He starts taking his climbing stand off his back. And I said, all right, Mr. Billy, I said, I'm going to go on to the next ridge. I'll come out about 10:30 or whatever. Well, I go on back there. Well, he's already taking his stand off his back, unhooking the strap, doing everything. When I come back about 10 o'clock, 10:30, he ain't nowhere to be found. I was like, well, this is a tree he put his stand on. No, he put it back on his back after I went around the ridge, and he went on to where he was going.
He didn't want you to know where he's going. He had no honey hole back there.
That man would kill some deer, though. It was, and that's something else I don't understand, how that is genetically infused in people.
What's that?
Not saying you're a bad hunter, bad fisherman, but if I was betting on you or Randy, I'm having to go with Randy. And I don't know how. Again, my nephew Drake's dad, Larry, he's not a diehard hunter fisher. Drake, if you're in a boat with him, he's catching fish. If you're in a stand with him, he's killing the deer. I mean, it's just some people have that.
They got that now.
Predisposition.
Something, yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know the way you smell. I don't know what it is.
But a lot of us keeping your mouth shut, too.
Yeah. That's what it is.
You'd mess around and tell somebody where you catching crappie at and see what's happening.
But that's what
they're going to be in there on you.
You better keep your mouth shut.
Fishing, I can kind of see that.
Deer too.
Well, think about deer. If you go in and kill a 180-inch deer, Why you want somebody else want to go back hunt? It ain't like it's another 180-inch deer right there.
What if you didn't kill it? You saw it.
That's
Well, that's
saying.
different. Yeah, you don't tell nobody you saw it.
Let's go back to you getting kicked out of the club, Johnny. You moved 30 yards.
I did.
Why did you move 30 yards? Did you tell anybody you seen that good deer?
Nope.
All
I
right.
didn't kill nobody.
Oh, you saw it. It was just 30 yards away. You
Yeah, I couldn't get a shot at it.
So if you'd have told somebody that opening weekend when you seen him, do you think you killed that deer Monday? Hell no. Somebody took off work, went in there and killed that deer.
If we could have Billy Moore and Jimmy Scott on this podcast, we'd break the podcast because you'd hear some stories right there. I guarantee it. Because it ain't no telling how many times. Jimmy would be hilarious. We'd be banned on TikTok, no doubt. we'd have been banned the first week. But Jimmy didn't say nothing. He never would. Only thing I ever heard him tell about shooting a deer was Jamie and him, we told the story before, was hunting that old tobacco horn deer. And he just come in.
Yeah, so me, you, and Thomas been hunting the opposite side of the road to Jimmy all year long. We was a mile, half a mile.
You thought you was hunting the opposite side of the road to Jimmy.
And this was Christmas. We went home for Christmas, and Jimmy was going to hunt to Christmas Eve. And Christmas Eve morning, he goes across the road, the stand we've been hunting, and he mowed her down. That was the end of it.
He comes, man, you know that deer y'all been seeing? It's yes, don't look for it no more. And just walked off.
He liked aggravating.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. I love Uncle Jimmy. He was something else.
But that goes back to kind of what we talked last week and the week before last is stuff like that is what makes deer camp.
Oh, yeah. That's
if we can't pick at Mikey for being old top secret dog over there, it ain't fun,
That's right.
Can't pick
Jamie for getting kicked out of deer camps.
See, I ain't never been kicked out of deer camp yet. Now, hopefully this one I'm in now.
Hopefully none of us get kicked out of it.
That'd be bad.
It might be.
That's a good thing about us getting to make the rules.
Well, we'll just change that rule being we shot this
Y'all
deer.
start writing bylaws and all that this year. I'm going to go ahead and turn my notice in.
Yeah, have to vote them in, get a treasurer and all that stuff.
But, again, back to deer camp stuff, you got to have, if you want a deer camp to be anything, you got to have some kind of rules, guidelines, or somebody in charge.
You got to have like-minded people.
That's what I was going to say. Your rules and regulations have to accommodate the majority.
And it doesn't have to be like, we got stuff we kind of go off, but we're all kind of in the same mindset to where, to me, that don't feel like a rule. That's just hunting. Like, no, I'm not going to shoot that 6-point with the 12-inch spread, Not on purpose, at least. I might get excited accidentally one day, but.
And most of the people that get leases and start clubs, stuff like that, they're, the guy that finds a problem, somebody had to find it. It wasn't a group that found it. It's probably one or two guys looking for something, found it, couldn't afford it, and like, let's just get some buddies to get in here, but. Yeah. We need to make sure that, this is kind of the way we want to do it. So, and lay those rules out like that. If you agree with them, then you come in. So,
this kind of goes, me and Jamie talked about this morning. You're talking about, getting leases and clubs. All right, you got a place, you got a lease, or you got a club you go to. And this is an expense a lot of people don't think about it because most of the time, just like us, our place isn't very far from where we live, but still it's an hour or two. And you might have to go 2 or 3 hours, to find that property to go to. What do you do about staying? What's your options there that is a feasible, budget-friendly option to have somewhere to stay at that camp or at that lease to where you're not driving back and forth every day? And what options do you have?
You got
camper that'd be probably my first thing you'd think. Try to find a used camper.
One you don't really, that's nice enough to stay in, but you ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
So we was in that club at Ripley. Brad, he had like a 10 by 12, something like a storage building, which they had a camp house with a shower and bathroom, a little kitchen in it and stuff. But he had a storage building. He insulated it, put electricity in it, had bunk beds, a heater, and I don't think he had a sink or nothing in it, but it was fine to stay in. You stayed warm or stayed dry. It was great.
Yeah, you can buy some of those little pre-made things at like Lowe's.
Yeah, that's all this
in
was.
The parking lot, like little chicken houses and little sheds. You can buy those and insulate them and
get you a little
generator and put you a window unit or a heater in there, and you can rock and roll. I don't know what you're gonna do about pooping and peeing.
Yeah, I said like yeah, like this
bucket with no commode lid on it.
Yeah,
toilet seat.
Open-ended bucket.
Yeah.
You mess with your bucket.
Poop and move.
No, I've seen people use those Connex trailers.
Mm-hmm.
You can have those set up. You just think about the way we did barbecue trailers.
Yeah.
You could buy a utility, bumper
enclosed
trailer, and build that out to where you could stay in it.
I would recommend that. Which
bit.
again, budget minded and price point would be key. But if you could get a little small trailer for the same price of that building, I'd much rather go that way because I'm gonna tell you, them buildings ain't easy to move.
No, they're not going to move.
And
you'd have to have a tractor or something to pick it up.
And at least if you had a trailer that can go with you wherever you go, you know, hey, you might go turkey hunting in Arkansas this weekend. You can hook up to your trailer, put all your supplies in it, and go. You know, I highly recommend a trailer. If I was going to do it, that would be probably my route.
Y'all ever camped out, like pitched a tent?
Not the hunt. No,
I don't think I have the hunt.
No,
I have fishing, but I hadn't hunted.
Slept in the truck before.
I've done it fishing. I've never done it hunting. I've slept in the truck before.
Truck sleeping is the most miserable sleeping.
It is.
I don't know how.
You can't wait till daylight so you can get in the stand and go to sleep.
Yeah.
You don't get rest.
No, I could deal with the staying in a little bitty place, you know, like that, and having to, you know, use the bathroom in the woods, stuff like that. That's not, but I got to wash my freaking face.
Yeah.
I got to have a shower.
But I mean, if you're going to lease some land, you're not going to put anything permanent on it.
No.
That's right.
You're not going to build a cabin. You know, if you don't own the land, why would you do that? So you got to come up with something mobile.
That's easy.
Yep.
And see, the thing about a trailer is, you know, even if you done like a little 6x12 enclosed trailer, it ain't got to be nothing big enough to lay down and have a little bit. That can be your toter to haul everything back and forth every weekend. You ain't got to leave it down there, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed, like, that first time I came down there and hunted with you. You know, y'all had the
State
campers
market
down there.
truck.
Y'all had them set up. You know, it was like a little camping area with the awnings out and all that stuff. And
It's fun.
it was fun. We had fire every night
Yep,
and sat around the fire. And Jamie didn't have much fun, but
Snore him out.
yeah, I snored him.
Oh, so did.
That's when Will fell off
Yeah,
the
I
bed.
Will
yeah.
fell out of the bed and I
man.
was snoring. And
God, y'all had a rough night.
Will didn't even know it. I mean, Will hit it like a ton of bricks.
And that ain't no, this bed here is like 6 foot off the ground.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't no short bed. Them buck beds, that trailer was tall. That's a good time. We'll have to go back to that one time.
Want to do a camp?
Yeah, just go down there and pull up by the pond and rough it one more time.
And I swear that's the worst thing at deer camp. Somebody freaking snoring. That's the worst.
I'm fixing to get kicked out.
That is the worst.
Kicked out for Snore.
Fix to rewrite some rules. If you snore, you're not allowed in.
You're just going to put earplugs by every bed, Mikey. Where
Yeah.
You can halfway handle somebody farting. It's going to go away pretty quick.
Snoring's
The snoring's
long
like nonstop. It don't.
Who
you
was
just
it
better
that
go
went
to
out?
sleep first. That's all I got to say.
I will still wake up. It still wakes me up.
Was it your little short friend that slept on the porch because y'all
Yeah.
were snoring?
Yeah.
Yeah, Parson. That was where Parson had his
It was
Superman mask.
Parson snored like a freight train. Daddy did. Mikey did.
Jimmy smoked all night.
Jimmy smoked all night. This little poor man got out there. He went out there, got fully dressed, hunting clothes, carried a sleeping bag on the porch, and went outside. And it was like 18 degrees.
Couldn't take it no more.
He's like, I can't do it.
Yeah. That's bad. That's bad.
What is your sleep machine if you unplug it from power? What does it do?
Cuts off.
No, what's it do to you? Like,
Can you breathe?
Oh, yeah, you can breathe. You just wake up, though.
Well, evidently the old one.
The old ones you
Owens.
can't.
Owens, I don't think you can.
Oh,
Parsons went
suffocate you?
off. One
Yeah.
night we was down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
It
the power
went,
went
off.
Yeah.
And he thought he
He thought he
somebody
died.
woke him up, didn't they?
No,
'Cause
he
was-
woke
He
up.
jumped up. You know how somebody like they then almost drowned and they come back to life. That's pretty much how he
He was
did.
suffocating in that mask.
Oh,
There
yeah.
wasn't
you
no
can't-
oxygen. He couldn't get no air.
You
He just
can't
sucked
pull
it
much
down on
air
his
through it.
face.
Yeah, you can't pull a whole lot of air through it, but it'll give them.
That son will go.
I'm going to let you go
It
sleep.
wakes me up. My power goes out of my house. I don't have no backup on it.
I'm going to use
You'll
over there
wake
unplug yours one night. We're going to video it, see how it
I'll
goes.
wake up.
Get your finger and plug the holes up.
Pinch the cord. Just
I don't know. Y'all talking about stuff down there at the deer camp. I went down there with y'all one time, and Paul Richard was down there, him and Preston. And this is no lie. I woke up on the top. Paul Richard sleeps naked. I didn't know that. Yep. In the deer,
camp.
In deer camp. So I'm in the last
Just
bunk
butt
bed.
naked.
Yeah.
Mikey was the first person to find us out because we've been there many years and didn't nobody know.
I'm in the
Hey,
last.
wait on y'all to go to
I
bed.
guess, yeah. He threw his whitey toddies down there by
Oh.
Mikey.
Oh, so you're up under the bed?
No,
the bottom
no.
bunk?
So the way ours is laid out, so if just say from the far right, left side of the
He was eye level.
sleeping thing, there was like what 3 sets of bunk beds.
Yeah,
Four.
3 sets of bunks and
So
then
3 sets
singles.
of bunks, and then it was like three
Four
or four
singles.
singles. 4
Yeah,
singles.
yeah.
So Paul Richard was in the second
Single.
single. His brother was sleeping in the first single. I was up on the first set of bunk beds. So when I woke up, they had turned the lights on. Well, Paul Richard got up and he was stretching, talking to his brother wanger out. I mean, butt ass naked. He just standing there talking to him like it ain't no big deal. And I rolled her. I was like, what kind of damn deer camp y'all got going on down
You
here?
were just
This
a
dude's
visitor.
naked. Yeah.
My bunk was all the way at the end, and I never, thank goodness, never saw none of that. But
Shoot, he didn't care.
he got you and Thomas, I think.
Yeah.
That was good.
Not modest, huh?
Mm-mm.
Glad we don't have them rules that.
Yeah, we try to keep your bridges on at ours. There's kids around.
Yeah, at least leave the whitey toddies on.
Heck,
Might be wives there.
Daddy like to kill Billy Bob that first time he came down there. Was you was down there, wasn't he, when he stepped on him?
Yeah, it was a bunch of people there that weekend. We had
Yeah.
air mattress in the
So
floor.
Daddy, for some reason, he's what, 6'3", 6 foot. He's a pretty good sized old fella. He would sleep on the top bunk for some reason. I don't know why. Jamie always slept on the bottom bunk. Well, for some reason this time, I guess Billy Bob was in your bed.
Yeah.
Well, Billy Bob's one of them heavy sleepers too, and he ain't the smallest guy. He fits his name, Billy
He's
Bob.
5'5".
Yeah. So we all been cutting up the night before, and Billy Bob's asleep, and we're getting up to go hunting. Well, Daddy gets out of the top bed, and well, he usually throws his leg over, and he'll put it on the nightstand. Well, I watched him. I was sitting there wide awake. He threw his leg over, and I seen him pat on the nightstand. Well, I didn't pay no attention. I still had sleep in my eyes, and I'm looking. By the time he stepped off, and all you hear is Billy Bob sound like old broke down goose call. Just, whoo! Daddy's standing there. He's like, damn, what's wrong with you, Billy Bob? And he was back there, and Daddy steadily smushing him. Daddy thought he was standing on the nightstand. No, he was standing on Billy Bob. Like to kill him.
Killed him.
Good times.
Camp stories. I love camp
So that's what
stories.
we need. We need instead of question, we need a deer camp funny story.
Every week.
Yeah, text in to us or
We ought to
email
have
to us.
plenty. I can name a few.
Well,
Well, what have we been cooking?
Jamie, you
I-
cooked some
I
of the beef
done-
noodles, didn't
I
you?
tried some Shelly Craig, Jay Craig's wife recipe, and it's
Beef
not,
and noodles.
It's not as good. Indiana beef and noodles beat Jamie's beef and noodles.
I made them last night too. I would definitely say Indiana's way better than Mississippi beef and noodles.
I just didn't have the touch she had, so I've never heard of beef
What
and
is
noodles. So Shelly, she makes homemade noodles, which are I don't know how she does it. They're unreal. They're very, very good. But she'll get I guess just
Chuck roast.
chuck roast and do it in a crock pot oven overnight and beef broth or some kind of juice. And then once it gets done, she takes it out, uses that liquid to boil the noodles in.
Yeah.
And then she got some old thick cream
Like-
potatoes. You put the cream potatoes down and you beef and once your noodles get done, you mix the noodles back with the beef.
Like a fat, like egg noodle type.
They were like
It's
a
a-
flour noodle. They what or
It's like homemade noodle, but I'm sure it's some type of egg noodle.
Yeah.
They're kind of like about like a udon noodle, kind of thicker, a
Yeah.
little bit heavier noodle.
It's flour and egg. That's probably all it is.
yeah, and it was hers is it's unreal good. And after you get the noodles mixed with the meat, you do a big pile of cream potatoes and just layered on top. Beef
Noodles on the
top.
potatoes.
On the potatoes.
Ooh, you
Starch,
starched up.
starch
Like,
overload.
it ain't good for your blood sugar, but it was so good. But yeah, mine was good, but it wasn't nowhere near Indiana good.
Was yours turn out? Or
I got a bowl of it back there. Finna eat some in a minute. It was good though.
wasn't as good as hers.
No,
No, we ate good up there that weekend.
hers is like the noodles have so much flavor, and it's like it has a sauce, but it don't. Like I don't know if it's just like a little bit of oil and the fat from the chuck roast that just kind of coats the noodles, but man, they are.
So I think I tried to. It didn't look like a lot of noodles in it. She sent us a Ziploc bag of them. It didn't look like a lot of noodles in the bag.
Did
So
I give you your bag of noodles?
I got them in the freezer.
Okay.
Well, it's a lot. It's more noodles in there than what you think.
Yeah.
Because I used a
You didn't give me
small
mine.
I
pot.
might have cooked yours last night.
Yeah. My small pot wasn't quite big enough, so I think that's why my noodles were kind of stuck together a little bit more, maybe. But no, they were good. But she done her job. I just didn't pull off my end of the deal.
We'll just have to get her to send us some more noodles. Or either that or when they
Just
come
go to
back-
just go to Indiana.
Yeah.
and eat
Come
them
down here and
then.
make it.
Yeah, we'll fly you in. Come on.
That's all. Done that, and so me and Mark's been doing the hog cooking, and for some reason he don't like food with them tenderloins. I've been carrying them home. Man, I cooked up 2 sets of tenderloins Sunday. Golly, they were so good. It's totally different than ones you
Trimmed
get.
out. Y'all trimmed them out of the
Cut
whole
'em out of the
hog.
hog.
Yeah, it was so. It ain't no compare. My brother-in-law was over there, and he don't even like. He just they're not good. And he ate them. He was like, man, I ain't never had a pork tenderloin taste like that.
So
It
that
is-
hog that was a special hog. That was off one of them show enough hogs.
Mangalates or whatever.
Something.
Mangalates are crossed with something else.
Yeah.
It's a dang good hog.
So we cooking hog this weekend, so I'm getting loins out of it too.
Yeah, we'll have
How'd
this
you
week.
cook them?
Just I didn't do nothing. I had Razor Racks. What's the barbecue season? Not the new sweet one.
All day sweet.
Yeah, I done not the sweet. No, not the sweet one.
Oh, the regular one, just all day rub.
Yeah, I done Razor Racks all day rub, and then put TX on it, and it was.
Just cooked them whole and then
Yeah,
sliced them?
cooked them whole on a charcoal grill, and then sliced them, and just had a side dish to go with it.
It don't take them things long to grill.
No,
They're
not at all.
Quick cooking.
Good eating though.
I like to whoop them out, fry them.
Oh yeah,
That's the way to do it.
I got
fried
to.
tenderloin sandwich.
Yes.
I might do that next go around.
It's almost as good as deer tenderloin.
Almost. It's pretty dang close. Well, y'all got anything else?
That's all I done.
I think that's about it for today, boys.
Finna go kayak shopping.
Yeah.
Go buy some kayaks and do some
You
fishing.
gonna get one with us?
Hell no. Fishing in no kayak.
I was gonna come by and blow you out of the water with one of the big bass boats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's, I want the pontoon.
yeah.
do.
Pontoon.
We can float the pontoon
That's
wherever
right.
we want to.
We do got to do some market research on some jet boats for the White River.
Yeah,
though.
I am gonna need a trout boat. So
That's for a later date.
later date.
Well, we appreciate y'all listening. Y'all check us out on all the podcast platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. If y'all got any questions, let us know. And always make sure to check out buckjunkie.com. Got some stuff coming up. Hopefully, what are you thinking? July, maybe?
New products coming in.
July. We might have some pretty cool little things coming up. So y'all make
Gadgets we like.
sure gadgets we like. But we appreciate y'all listening.
We gone.